Hello, welcome back. This too shall pass. This means don't worry, I know you're not feeling so great, but just like everything else in life, this too shall pass. So, I've got some examples of some things you may be feeling in your English journey, and I'll explain that this too shall pass, so don't worry, it's temporary. But there are some things that you can do, or something you can do, to help this actually pass. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. The first thing you may be feeling is, Patty, I can't understand anything they say here in Manchester. Yeah, I know. You go to England and you're expecting super clear English, and then you go up north and they speak English in a way that you don't understand. You might just be in London and there are different types of accents in London, and you get really confused and you don't really understand. But I have something to tell you. This too shall pass, provided that you start listening to that accent as much as you can, as long as you listen to that accent as much as you can, because the only way for you to start actually understanding a specific accent is to be listening to that accent, to be immersed, to be in contact with that accent as much as possible. You don't just start understanding an accent that you never listen to, that you never practice being in contact with. It's not some sort of magic that happens in your brain. You actually have to be practicing your listening with that particular accent for this to get better. And you're so lucky, aren't you? Because nowadays you can just get on YouTube, as you're doing now, and you can find lots of videos with very specific accents to help you work on whatever you're struggling with. And I know that in real life, it's a bit harder than just watching a video, because in real life, when you are actually a part of the situation, it makes you feel really stressed and really nervous that you may not understand what the person's saying. So the stress levels actually get in the way of your comprehension. So the more stressed you are, the less you understand. So that's really tough. But I can tell you, trust me, I lived in Norwich. They have a strong accent there. The more you hear the accent, the more you listen to it with your full attention, the more you understand. Second thing you may be feeling is, Patty, I just translate everything in my head. I don't know how to stop. This too shall pass, provided that you actually start consuming a lot of English. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. So much English in your day-to-day life that when you go to bed at night, you find yourself dreaming in English. It's not because all of a sudden you're fluent. No, dreaming in English is just because you have been in so much contact with the language that you end up dreaming in it too. So, if you want to stop translating in your head, you want to be listening to a lot of English in your day-to-day life, especially with a context that you understand. So not just random English, not like watching BBC News, because that's just going to be really difficult for you now, but watching things that you can follow. So this video, for example, if you're watching this now and you understand what I'm talking about, that's a great way for you to start doing this daily listening practice in order to stop translating in your head. Or maybe your problem is, Patty, I mix the verb tenses in my head when I'm speaking. So I'm speaking in the present, then I say something in the past, and then I throw in something in the future. I have no idea what I'm doing. This too shall pass. But please read children's books. They will help you, because when you're reading a story that is designed for children, the way the tenses are put together, when in terms of verbal tenses, it's a lot simpler because the child has to follow the story. So a lot of the time they just tend to stick to that one verbal tense, and they keep on developing the story using that one tense. So this too shall pass, but please, please, please make sure that you're reading children's books. I think your problem could be related to this. Patty, my pronunciation sucks and people cannot understand me. Oh, wow, don't worry. This too shall pass. But please work on your pronunciation. Your pronunciation does not get better with time just because you're living abroad or because you're consuming a lot of English. Pronunciation is something that you actually have to work on in terms of seeing, noticing, realizing that there has been a significant improvement. So work on your pronunciation, make that a habit, just part of your learning, part of your routine with English, and you'll notice that it will get better. There's no reason why it wouldn't. You just have to work on it. And the last problem we're exploring today, which could be your problem, may be, Patty, I always use the same words when I speak. Yeah, this too shall pass. But really, you're supposed to choose new words to use. Of course, your brain is going to pick the ones that it knows the meaning of and how to throw that in a sentence because you've heard it so many times and because you've used it so many times, as you said so yourself. So, in order for you to start using different words, you have to consciously make that decision. So, having one new word a day to help you get used to it is super helpful. It's something I used to do when I was learning, when I lived in England, when I moved to England, at the beginning of my life in England. When I was going to school, not an English school, just a normal school, I used to have a word that I tried to use most days. And sometimes it was just about, I was too scared to say it out loud, but I would find situations around me to say the word in my head. So trying to find an excuse to use that word, even if I wasn't voicing it, because it took me a long time to start speaking. So there you go. You want to start using new words? Make yourself use new words. Really hope this video has helped you. The whole point of the video is for you to understand that whatever problem you may be having with your learning shall pass. But most of these problems need you to get your hands dirty and change the situation. So don't just sit there waiting for it to pass. Do something so that things move quicker and you start to feel the results of all your hard work. All right? Thank you for being here today. See you all next time.